Yes. Can you please tell this story? So I was listening to you on Bradley Perry's podcast from, I think it was about a year and a half ago. And you told a story about literally going from Canada to LA within like hours of
Literally,
each other.
my life changed in 24 hours.
Can you please tell a story? This is crazy.
So I did I did a dinner theater show back when Stage West at the Mayfield Inn did, they brought up the American Celebrity. You did a dinner show. Great pay, by the way. Like one
Really?
of the best paying gigs for like a local Canadian actor at the time.
Yeah.
So a fellow by the name of Gary Sandy from WKRP in Cincinnati, Google it, came up. All these references seem very fresh in my head, and then I suddenly realize, oh, yeah, that's how old I am.
It's okay.
So he came up. And we did a play together called The Foreigner. And we got along fine. I wouldn't say that we were like great friends, but we all hung out and had drinks, and it was a really good time. But the show ended. He went back to LA. I was in Canada, and then we were touring with the Rocky Horror Show. And started out in Calgary, wound up in Edmonton. We were supposed to go to Toronto. And the way I remember it, they had a water main, like the week that we were closing in Edmonton and then getting ready to go to Toronto. They had, I believe the story is they had a water main break or something in the theater in Toronto, and so they couldn't take us. And so we had nowhere to go. So all of us that thought we had all this work suddenly realized we were out of work. So we get to the weekend, we do the final weekend shows, we do the Sunday night show. Goodbye everybody, show's dead. Whatever. Monday morning, I'm viciously hungover, and the phone rings, and I pick it up, and I go, hello, and he goes, Eric. He says, Gary Sandy. Gary, hey, what's going on? What's happening? He says, listen. He says, I'm down here in LA. I'm down at La Mirada. I'm doing The Foreigner. And the guy that's playing your role just got fired. I told the producers that you're an American citizen, you know the show. He says, would you want to come down to LA and do a show for 3-4 months? He says, can you do it? And I said, well, just so happens, Gary, I've been unemployed for the last 6 hours. So, yeah, no, absolutely. So he puts me on the line with the producers, and we make this sort of quick deal arrangement, whatever. They buy a ticket on that afternoon. I'm on a plane to Los Angeles. Gary picks me up, was nice enough to put me up in his guest house. And I was at rehearsal the following Tuesday morning.
That's insane. Had you ever been to LA at the time?
No, first time. I mean, I had been through LA to get to other places, but I never spent any real time in Los Angeles. And by the way, had no desire to try and go there and make it. I was completely happy doing what I was doing.
That's insane.
So literally within the span of 24 hours, my life completely turned upside down. And even then I just thought, okay, this is great. This is sort of a little adventure. During that week I had, there was a show that asked me to be a part of it in Vancouver, blah, 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 all the rest of it. So I still was convinced I was like coming back, and this was just sort of a great, lucky little break. And then Gary's Gary's agent saw me, and him and I talked for a little bit, and then he sent me out during the run. He sent me out on just an audition. He says, if you're around, go do this audition for some sitcom. I got it. I got the role, but couldn't do it because it conflicted with the stage show. So I guess that must have made an impression on Gary's agent. And about 3/4 of the way through the run, because we did this run, everything was sort of ending in December. And his agent said, there's this thing in January called pilot season. Maybe you want to come down and give that a go and, see what's. And it's just, sometimes you just think that, maybe fate is opening up the doors and is like pushing you very hard through them. And I thought, the opportunity is just, it's too convenient. It's too ridiculous. I will always be kicking myself for not having tried an adventure like this. So
Right.
I went back to Canada, got out of the shows that I was in, actually put a buddy of mine in the role I was supposed to do. And came down, and the first audition I went out on was for Thor in the movie of the week with the Incredible Hulk Returns. Mm-hmm. And landed that right out of the gate. And so that
did you not feel like you had like a horseshoe up your ass or something at this point?
Oh, completely.
Like,
I would love to be the biggest, most pompous asshole in the world and sit here and go, well, when talent shows up in the room, they recognize it. And hey, no, it's nothing like that at all. 99% of this business is just luck, flat out luck. And there's a couple of moments, like the whole thing with Gary coming down to do the show and showing up for the Thor rehearsal, where I was just lucky enough to be there at the right place at the right time, had the right look,